Welcome to the B. Andrews Radio Show, coming to you from central Wisconsin, where it is lush green, but I don't know about beautiful. We got that icky, rainy. Oh! Here comes that rainy day, feeling again.
Okay, you haven't explained that.
No, I haven't. But anyway, I'll get to that in just a minute. But it's icky. It has been raining since yesterday. We have puddles all over the place, but up here in central Wisconsin, puddles only last for about a half an hour. The ground is so sandy, it just kind of soaks them up and the water's gone. But anyway, we're coming to you from central Wisconsin. We needed the rain anyway. We've gone 10 days without it, so things were starting to turn a little brown, and this should green things up. This is the B. Andrews Radio Show you're listening to, and I'm the co-host, Eric Hambrock. Over on the other side is the other co-host named John. Say hey, John.
Hey.
And today we're going to talk to you about our musical influences. So we got a little game that I told John we're going to play on the air today. The game goes a little something like this. If we come across a sound, if we come across some phrases, if we come across something that reminds us of another song or something of that nature, then we are to break out into song.
Somewhere in my memory.
Okay, you lost me on that one.
Oh, God, John Williams.
Okay.
You missed it because I didn't have the full orchestra behind
That's right. Yeah, I needed that grand orchestra of John Williams too.
That's one of my favorite Christmas songs.
Enlighten me on the song. Okay. Anyway, we're going to break out into song, and we'll see who has more breakouts, if it'll end up being me or John at the end of the show, and then we'll declare a winner. And so that means...
Oh, wait, we got to be keeping
somebody's got to keep...
Yeah,
somebody's got to keep
I think we're
count.
1-1 right now.
Yeah, right now.
You know what? Maybe we'll let the listener tally it up.
Okay, and then...
If they care.
If they care, and then you'll have to get over onto Facebook and let us know who the winner was. We'd appreciate that, which I'm probably thinking it's going to totally be me, because John has brain cramps from time to time, and he just can't get the songs out of his head.
That's true.
Suddenly, right in the middle of a good dream, there's a thought that keeps knocking at my brain.
I hate that song. There are very few songs that I just absolutely despise. That's one of them.
Oh, come on, John. I think I love you, and that's what life is made of. There you go. See? But for those of you counting out there,
that was all one song.
That's still just one song because it's the same song. So I only get one tally. Mr. Tallyman, tally me bananas.
We're never going to get through anything today.
And so that's a little game that we're playing today. So please keep count out there and get on Facebook. Go to B. Andrews on Facebook. That's like somebody's name, first name B-E, second name Andrews, A-N-D-R-E-W-S. And go on there and go, Eric totally smoked John. Yes, because we know that he did. And keep the tally for us and tell us what the official score is. All right. So in the process of doing all of that, we do want to do we must bring it in. We must become solemn. Well, there's a little bit of mourning going on here because this past week, Adam West passed away.
Yes.
And for those of you who may not know, Adam West, when I was a kid, was Batman on TV. And he had those great shows with Boy Wonder. And in fact, when we do our adventures of Fat Man and Bobbin, that is the parody that we're using. We use the Adam West Batman. We use the TV as our structure of how things should be. But the stories are totally ours, and we change a lot of things in them. But and it was very sad today because out of all of the cars driven, Adam West, the original Batmobile.
Well, that's not the original Batmobile, but the 66 one was pretty cool.
That Batmobile was the coolest Batmobile. I mean, every time he fired that baby up, fire shot out of its back end. I mean, come on, man. That's a turbo right there.
He was 88.
He was 88 years old, and so to the original TV Batman, we salute. And we say farewell. So
cups up.
Cups up to Adam West. So our coffee cups are full. We're about ready to go on with our show. Today, we want to, in memory, cups up. I should have done this. I am terribly sorry. Did not mean to be frivolous. A moment of silence. Okay, on today's show, we do want to move on.
That was the sound of silence.
Good one, young man. Good one. Anyway, today's show we're going to talk about musical influences. That's what we kind of want to get to today. And just to share a little bit, it's amazing how music influences a generation, people. For us, because we write our own music, what we've learned about music and the things that we have listened to, bands that have been in our ears, have shaped what?
Bands that have been in our ears?
Well, if they weren't in your ears, you weren't listening.
I guess.
I'm doing my head bobbing thing over here.
Yeah, but it was always on my mind.
Always on my mind.
Always on my mind.
Well, I mean, it's kind of just like yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. And that's a group I will not pay homage to.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Okay. We should probably just get it out of the way. You guys won't hear the Beatles listed in this.
No, they are not. Well, yeah, they will. When it comes to learning what not to do in music.
Unless you're counting being extremely successful.
Yeah, we haven't learned to do that. So, but start with you, young man. Coming up when we were doing the band at the beginning, there was a huge punk influence that was on the band at the time. And every now and then, I still see you pull out those CDs, and you're like, "Oh man, this is my childhood. I love this stuff." Not that you're too much into redoing it now, but you know, there's just like it's happy, feel good music for you. And so, who's your influences?
Reliant K, Hawk. These are most of them. The pop punk bands when I was a kid I listened to were Christian pop punk. So Reliant K, Hawk Nelson, Run Kid Run. Didn't listen to too much of the unchristian stuff. I knew some songs, but didn't really follow any of the bands specifically.
So secular music hadn't come too much into play at that point in time. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. You just said of the pop punk genre.
Oh, pop punk genre.
Everyday
okay.
Sunday.
So what,
from way back in the day.
So what influence did they have on you? I mean, what about their music has influenced your music today?
Interesting thing about that is I would say a lot of that influence actually comes a little bit secondhand, because of Chris.
Who's Chris?
My older brother.
All right.
Who was the original guitar player of the band. Really, really liked that stuff. And so some of the things like he pulled from that he really liked, and the way he played, that's a lot of the stuff that I heard and that I ended up picking up. Actually, on that subject, they're considered space punk, I think is the technical name for it.
What is the difference between pop punk and space punk?
Just put delay and reverb on it, and it becomes whatever. Anyway,
okay.
But the band Angels and Airwaves, which has when Tom DeLonge broke off from Blink-182, he formed Angels and Airwaves. My brother Chris really, really loved their delay sounds on guitar and stuff, and I've picked up a lot from that. So there's a definite influence there from that band.
All right, secular, because you said I didn't say I didn't have a secular influence. It's just in Christian music that was my influence. secular influence when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I'd have to. Well, a lot of that's because it's.
That was just a few years ago, wasn't it?
I'm still a kid. A lot of that actually has to do with your music too, like Billy Joel. Although I would definitely say my 70s rock repertoire is probably actually larger than yours.
Probably,
actually. Yeah. And I really like the guitar work. Actually, a lot of that is being inspired now. What I'm trying to play now and get better and better on the guitar. 70s rock, really, I really like what they do with music there. The sophistication of the music, using a broader range of chords. Like from
now, it sounds to me
like
you are directly talking about Boston.
Oh, they're on the list.
Okay,
they're on the list, but actually, I'd break it down more by song than band. So songs that I like.
For instance,
we play Drift Away. Learning to play that and the different solo parts on that has really done it. A lot of it actually comes from actually not rock, but 70s folk and singer-songwriter.
Okay.
Because of learning to do finger picking. My finger picking skills are far better than anything I can really do on electric.
So you're talking about James Taylor?
James Taylor, Jim Croce, I can play more of his.
Simon or Paul Simon.
Simon and Garfunkel, John Denver, Longer Than, leader of the band. Who am I trying to think
James
of?
Fogelberg. Danny Fogelberg.
Danny Fogelberg.
Yeah, not James Fogelberg. Danny Fogelberg.
You mixed two people's names.
I did. I was James Taylor.
James Taylor, yeah, Danny Fogelberg. Danny Fogelberg is
so we got
the
James
guy.
Fogelberg.
A little bit of Clapton, and I learned to play like one of his pieces. Either way, but it's amazing. You learn to pick up one of their songs and everything, and then a couple of the licks and things that you learn from like this song over here, you apply in your own stuff later on. And
so do you study their stuff? I mean, do you actually go out and watch their finger picking and implement it, do that kind of stuff?
Mainly tutorials. Most of the finger picking and a lot of the style, I guess, I've developed on my own, which is probably why it's wrong. So anyway, how about you, big man?
Well, wait a minute. I got one other.
You big man.
Yeah, you did. You did. One other one. Who's the guy that does the certified guitarist?
Yeah, Chet Atkins.
Chet Atkins. You do anything by Chet Atkins?
One song, and it's like his slowest song ever. Which is the only reason why I can play it.
Yeah, he's a pretty great guitar player. For me, most of my influence that comes from our music that we do actually comes from the secular side, not necessarily from the Christian side. Although, and Billy Joel, Barry Manilow, two huge influences. And I know a lot of people go, "Oh, Barry Manilow," but he does arranging with music where he brings in the other instruments and he makes instruments in rock and roll. He does pop rock for that time period.
Very poppy,
what we call that, but he brings in instruments that work. And I like studying that because it's like, hey, that sound that can actually work here and there. And I'm a student of sound and how we can end up making sound work for us and things that we can do. On the Christian side, oh boy, I may have some people that might say some things to me about this, but the one that works that has amazed me has been we met him in Cincinnati.
Toby Mac?
Toby Mac. There you go. He's the one that has amazed me the most with what he does in Christian music and the amount of sound that he pulls in. He really, they try to pigeonhole him into a certain category, but if you were to go to a Toby Mac concert, you find out that he's using a lot of synthesizer things in order to get more orchestrated sounds. Plus, Timmy Rosen
Jimmy Rosenau.
Trumpet, Spanish classical guitar style. He pulls into some of his songs. He's not easily pigeonholed into a genre. So those are a little bit of the influences that we're talking about with music. We're going to talk about lyrics in the next section of our show. So go get a fill up with a cup of coffee and come back. You're listening to the B. Andrews Radio Show. So let's call him Joe, cause he's a real good friend. He wants to start a fight when things aren't right in this world that we're living in. So it says to him, Joe, I know that you know that fighting never pays. So instead of a fight when things aren't right, why don't you start with a chord of praise? Na, 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 na. Sing the chord of praise.
This was brought to you by the HBC. Hambone Broadcasting Corporation.
Welcome back to the B. Andrews Radio Show. Today we're talking about musical influences that have shaped the way that we do music, and so we were talking about actually the music side of it last time with guitars and orchestration and influences that were there. This time around, I'd like to talk about lyrics. There are lyricists that very, very much impress me. Again, I have more that come from the, what would you say, the secular side. But before I get into the secular side, let me do say one thing. I grew up with older traditional hymns, and in that style of the older traditional hymns, that's me. I really, really enjoy them. I analyze the songs. I analyze the verses, the choruses. I take them in. I try to absorb the meaning of what the songwriter's trying to tell me. And that's one of the reasons why I like songs that have meaning to them. Is talk to me, say something to me, tell me a story in a song, or move me with some words. Out of the 70s, Vicki Lawrence did a song, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. Love that song because you have to listen to get all the details of what's going on in the story. Love that kind of a song. And I think that's the thing that really intrigued me about that song. Songwriters like lead singer for Eagles, Don Henley, one of the lead singers for the Eagles. I guess they all do it when you're a super group. Everybody does their own songs. But the songs that Don Henley has written, he's very soulish, and he can get a message across by writing those kinds of words. He's very good at it. Billy Joel, one of the reasons why Billy Joel just amazes me is because he has a talent in 3 areas, and the guy is a mega talent. The least talent that he has is actually his vocals. That's not where he shines the most, and yet he does really good. But his ability to write music and to write words and to arrange them in certain ways is just, and he does it all himself. When he sits down, he writes, he works. That's all his work that he puts in. I mean, there's tons of other guys that will write music and somebody will write lyrics for them, such as Elton John. Elton John wrote all of his own music, but he worked with a lyricist. And the lyricist ends up writing the bulk of the words for Elton John's music. You have other guys who are lyricists who end up writing words and put together a melody and then turn it over to a band. But Billy Joel, I mean, he does it all himself, and he's very not self-centered, but I mean, it's his baby, and he does not let that go, and he doesn't like other people. He doesn't collaborate and so forth. When he goes in to write, this is his stuff, and he doesn't let it go to anybody else. But those are a couple of people that impress me in their lyrical writing. On the other side, on the Christian side, people that have impressed me with their lyrical writing, I'm going to go back into another century here, but the blind lady, Fanny Crosby, she totally impresses me, especially when you think that she has written over 800 songs. Most people don't know that, because a lot of them weren't put into music and so forth, but she did the lyrics for over 800 songs, or you can call it poetry because she wrote the lyrics to it. In those songs that she has written, it's how many different times that she makes a reference to things that she has seen, and she's blind. And one of her songs is called First of All. And one of the verses of that song says, through the gates of that city in a robe of spotless white. How's that for somebody who's blind, okay? I will be where no tear will ever fall. Through the glad song of ages, I will mingle with delight. Now catch these words. But I long to see my Savior first of all. See him. You know what I'm saying? And the song goes, I shall know him, I shall know him. And I got to think of the lyrics. I shall know him, I shall know him. As redeemed by his side, I shall stand. I shall know him, I shall know him by the prints of the nails in his hands. Another thing that requires vision. And here's a woman who can't see. But that's how she will know him, and she will know what those are. Her writing it amazes me, all the references she makes to vision and to seeing, and it's inspiring to me. She's an inspired writer, very inspired writer. So, on your side, lyrics.
On my side, lyrics. Well, that's kind of what I'm looking up here, because it's like I can give you a bunch of songs that I really like. But sometimes you don't know actually who wrote the lyrics for them.
You know, that is so true. You get into songs and you hear a band that does it, but just because a band does a song, band on the run, band on the run.
I don't feel like that was a very good dovetail.
It wasn't a dovetail, just song popped into my head. It doesn't have to be a dovetail, dude. It reminds you of a song. Anyway, band. I said that at the beginning. Go back and listen to the tape if you don't believe me.
And I've had that song in my head all day. See, I can do it too.
Yes, you can. Anyway, just because a band does a song does not mean that band wrote that song. The other day, I had to turn in some lyrics. We performed someplace, and they did a CCLI, and they had to turn in songs that were sung at their venue. And so they asked for a list of songs, and I'm like, we do a song. It's a modern song today. We do it so that people will know it, and it's called Best Day of My Life. And so I went to go look it up to see, because you never know who wrote the song. And it is a collaboration with 3 of the band members. So thought that was pretty cool. And so each of them are listed, or you can just list the band as those who sing there, or those who are the lyricists. So anyway, for you.
Well, I had to pull this up because I was showing a friend this song. People make fun of it a lot, but I think that's because they actually didn't take time to listen to the lyrics of it. The song "I'd Do Anything for Love."
Yes,
but I won't do that. But I won't do that. Yeah, Meatloaf did not write the lyrics for the song, and I don't think he wrote the music either. The name of the writer of the song is Jim Steinman, and he also wrote the song "It's All Coming Back to Me Now" that Celine Dion brought out, which completely makes sense if you think about it, because if you put the two songs side by side, you can totally tell they're written by the same author.
But didn't Meatloaf also record?
Yeah, he has a recording of the other one too, for like "Bad Out of Hell" Infinity or something. I don't know. Like every single one of his albums is named something about bad out of hell, bad out of hell, back into hell, bad out of hell, eternal flames, bad out of hell. I don't know. It just gets to me. But I mean, you have like Jim Steinman wrote that. I love the grandiose way it's written. I also like to go back into the day for some of the songwriters. It's like people. I just looked at what's his name. Harbach is the name of the guy that wrote the song "Smoke Gets in Your Eyes," and like the double meaning you can pull from that when you follow the lyrics through is incredible. It's written so well. The thought that went into the lyrics for it. It's not just there's no filler lyrics in the song. Like I like pop punk, like we talked about. But one of the things they have a really bad part of doing is they'll want to say something here, right? But everything before that is like, hey, we need to fill up this, and so they throw in like filler lyrics, and it's like these don't really mean anything. They don't push the meaning of the song. They don't add to it. They're just useless. You know, we just needed spacer to get from point A to point B, kind of thing.
What's that song that we make fun of? I'm getting it confused with another song about Umbrella. Ella. No, but it's from the.
You found like the other song I really, really hate.
But it's the one from the movie about the birds and. They try to rhyme everything together on the flow. Drop it low on the flow.
He's being serious and like that's the Black Eyed Peas, like the dude from the Black Eyed Peas. By the way, I really hate the Black Eyed Peas. If anybody was wondering.
Hey, you know what? I got a feeling.
Stop.
You hate the Black Eyed Peas.
Well, no. Let's put these next to each other.
Okay,
let's put these next to each other. So I've got a feeling, that tonight's going to be a good night. That tonight's going to be a good night. That tonight's going to be a good night.
Well, take a minute and explain to the audience the difference between writing a song lyrically all the way through and writing a hook.
Okay, a hook is when you repeat something over and over. It doesn't rhyme, it's called repetition. So, for instance, I've got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night, that tonight's going to be a good night, that tonight's going to be a good night is repetition. There is no rhyme in that.
So that would be considered a hook. And what you're saying is...
Hooks can rhyme.
There's not a lot of talent involved.
There's not a lot of, how shall we say... lyric there. If you can write beats so tall that I'm stepping on leprechauns, if you can put that in one of your songs and sing it with a straight face, I will question your ability to write lyrics. But going back to Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, they asked me how I knew my true love was true. I, of course, replied, something here inside cannot be denied. Right? So, I mean,
totally
you got...
cool. Totally cool.
They said someday you'll find... that true love is blind. When your heart's on fire, you must realize that smoke gets in your eyes. So I chaffed them and I gaily laughed that they could doubt my love. But now today my true love's gone away and I am without my love. So laughing friends deride, tears I cannot hide. So I smile and say, when a lovely flame dies, smoke gets in your eyes.
I know, it's beautiful.
It's just like you can use those.
That's gorgeous.
Use those lyrics back to back. And talking about lyrical influence, like that's the kind of lyrics I want to be able to write. Because to me, that's so cool.
At which one of those other singers that we have a tendency to listen to, Nat King Cole, Bing Crosby.
Of course, he wasn't a lyricist.
No, he wasn't a lyricist, but the songs that he did because of the lyricists, Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra. You don't care much for Billie Holiday. I like Billie Holiday.
No, I like Ella Fitzgerald.
You like Ella Fitzgerald. And the songs that were written back then, because the song was about the lyrics.
Well, and a lot of people were dedicated to, that's what they did. You know, you had the music guy over here. He worked on music. He was your composer. And then you had the lyricist over here, and that's what he did. He wrote lyrics. And then you had the singer over here, and what did they specialize in?
Bringing it all together.
Singing. That was their thing. They had a band leader. They had each and every music. Everybody had their job back in the day. Everybody had their job, and And that's what they super excelled at doing. And then they let the people that excelled in the other areas, they let those people do those things. It's not until like the 60s and 70s that you get into the singer-songwriter, and it's like, well, he's not really the greatest singer, but my goodness, that dude can write music. That dude can write lyrics. Bob Dylan, for one. You will never hear me. I do not care to listen to the dude sing, but that guy could write a song. That dude could write lyrics. I mean, he was... Everybody knows songs from Bob Dylan, even if they don't know that Bob Dylan wrote them. He's an incredible lyricist.
And Tom Petty, I put him in the same group. You know, Tom Petty. Oh man, sometimes his voice can just drive me up a wall. But I like some of the songs that he has written. So we're going to get a fill up on coffee and take another little break right here. We've really enjoyed bringing to you some of our thoughts about lyrics. So go get a refill. We're going to take a break right now. You're listening to the B. Andrews Radio Show.
Just have to praise him when things aren't right, when your cares and worries are crowding around. Try lifting him up when life gets you down. Well, I know you've been there, I've been there too, so you might as well admit that it gets to you. So when this old world is taking its toll, remember God prepaid it free to go. So here we
back on the B. Andrews Radio Show. I have a delectable cup of French press right here in my hand. Hope your beverage of choice is as delicious and as wonderful as mine is, and so that way that you're really enjoying it. I want to do a shout out right at the moment.
Shout, let it all out.
Very good, very good.
I've been waiting to use that.
Want to do a shout out right now. On the 24th of June, we are going to be in West Harrison, Indiana.
You know you make me want to shout, throw my hands up and shout.
Yeah. So, on a little red barn on the farm in Indiana.
Because that's where we're going to be.
Right. Going to rest my back on a stack of a new cut hay. By the way, in case anybody knows, that's actually the state theme song for the state of Indiana.
Because states have theme songs.
Yeah. So, anyway, West Harrison, Indiana, right next to Ohio.
I didn't hear a song in that. You can sing any word you want.
That
doesn't make it a song.
Okay, I'll finish the song. We're going to be right next to Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, where the river runs, across the nation and across the Mason and the Dixon line. A heavenly place for me, I know. Cincinnati, Ohio. What are you looking at me strange for?
Fake song.
It is not a fake song. I just rattled off a song. I would like to think I would be that good I could just make up a song off the top of my head like that. I am not.
Fake song.
It is not a fake song. Anyway, we're going to be at West Harrison, Indiana, which is right next to Harrison, Ohio, but it's on the west side. Hence, it's called West Harrison. And we're going to be at a Baptist church there. And so check out our Facebook page. You'll be seeing things about it. If you're somewhere in the Cincinnati area, come on out. It's a picnic for their youth. They're doing a kickoff. They're trying to make it very interesting and have a great day so that other youth in the area would go, hey, man, we want to check your church out. And so having other people come in and check out the show and bring some energy to it would just be absolutely fantastic. We also are going to be singing there, so there's going to be hamburgers, hot dogs. B. Andrews is going to be playing. It's going to be a good day, 4 to 8. Pick up the rest of the details.
Might even be the best day of your life. Your life.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So anyway, and you might end up hearing that song there.
You might.
And so we're going to be there 4 to 8, June 24th, West Harrison, just outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. So go check that out. We want to finish up what we were talking about, our musical influences, and kind of bring it down to how it has influenced us or how we use that influence to write our music. One of the things that I have told the guys always when we have entered into writing, recording, putting our lyrics down, putting music with it, is that the thing that makes a great song is not whether or not it's complicated. It's not always the great talent, although great talent makes songs even greater. But it's the idea that you get a decent music, a good melody, and you get good lyrics, and you bring it together, and it creates emotion in the human heart.
Sweet emotion.
Uh-huh. And
they have a word for that, by the way.
Which is?
It's not bird. 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 It's not that one. No, the name of the word of bringing that stuff together, it's called prosody.
Prosody.
They actually have a word for that, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Prosody.
It's not a fake word. Unlike your very fake song that you just made up.
I did not make
prosody.
That song up.
Prosody is when you have like really good music and really good lyrics. They come together to make art. That's called prosody.
Anyway, and when you do that with a song, and that's the whole thing. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be good. And what that song does is to create an emotion in the heart, okay? And for example, speaking of heart, don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart. See, that song brought emotion and fun.
We need to get down to the heart of the matter.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, when that happens, that song within itself only has 2 chords. Totally uncomplicated.
Achy breaky heart.
Achy breaky heart only has 2 chords. Totally uncomplicated. But that song ended up making a mega hit. Why? Because it spoke to people. And then it's like, some people it was fun. Some people it was, about their, about relationships that they had and their friends in low places. Okay. And it brought something out. But for us, since we're talking about bringing people before the throne of God in worship, and we're talking about bringing people's minds to focus on God, we want to bring our music together with our lyrics that point towards Him. Now all of a sudden, it's not just randomly, we want it to be a good song to sell. Our point, we have a purpose. Our point is to say, it's all about Jesus. It's all about the way He changed our lives. It's all about Jesus.
It's shameless that you're singing, yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay. Anyway, but that's part of like what I was saying when it comes to, writing good lyrics and being able to really say something and bring deep meaning with the lyrics that you choose. There's a lot of bands, they just don't achieve that. And that's not just modern music too. You go back to some of the old writers that it's a popular thing now and back then to write, how should I say, abstractly. And like writers like, for instance, Genesis, the writers of Genesis, Phil Collins and them, Mike Rutherford, they write their music first and then they write their lyrics, and basically they say, how does this make me feel? And then they just jam session it out. And to me, you get lyrics that aren't as refined in purpose when you do that, based on
take me home because I don't remember.
Yes,
what is that all about?
I don't think he's being incredibly literal when he sings that song, which is Phil Collins for those of you who may not know. So that's my feeling about it. Like when I try to write lyrics and everything, there's a point for, these lyrics are not like this set of lyrics right here. This is not literal. I'm trying to evoke a feeling and paint a picture, But then there are other times where it's just like, look, I want to carry a very particular message here. And that's where good lyrics come in. And I think there's a responsibility of good lyricists, Christian wise. And we didn't really touch on this, but not only carrying good lyrics, but carrying, and rightly dividing the gospel of truth. Biblically based, biblically lyrics. Sound message as well. Not just because it sounds good, but that's another thing that I find myself having to watch my P's and Q's. If I try to write a song, it's like, how, this sounds good to say this. It's a really great rhyme. Does the Bible back it up if I use these words? Does this not paint this in the light of maybe what the Bible's trying to say? How do my lyrics affect the truth that I'm trying to convey that I read out of the Bible? Does it not go far enough? Does it fall short of saying what the Bible has to say? So
you don't want to be watered down either.
I don't want to be watered down.
You want to say it. You want to say it concisely, and say it with some conviction. But at the same time, in an artistry kind of way, do you want to say it flowerly, descriptively, in order that it paints a picture so it touches a heart, instead of going, no, I don't want to touch your heart. I want to plummet it with an arrow.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then
yeah, okay, you got that one in. So, that's the way that we try to approach our lyrics.
That's just the way it is.
Some things will never change. I know. So I have no idea what the score is. We'll have to figure out if somebody counts all this up and tell us how we're doing.
It's the final countdown.
Man, you just rattled off 3. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
He's not that sure anymore.
Oh boy, racking them up. So I think we're going to need to take a break here.
A short one.
A very short break, and when we come back, we'll see how things go. So count them up, see who's winning this particular game, and you're listening to the B. Andrews Show.
I bring you praise. I sing,
You got something to say. Oh, looky there. I came in on a song. I love it. We're going to talk about Christian bands that you want to, that we would say, hey, these guys have a good sound, a good message, follow them. So what we're going to do right now is high, push them up high. High, push them up high. All right. So that's KJ52, which is one that I would recommend. I'm not big on rap, but KJ52 is his words. That's the only reason why. His words are solid. His message is tough. He's a good guy to listen to.
Then I'll have to recommend, talking about guitar stuff, one of the greatest guitar players in the world is a Christian man. His name is Phil Keaggy. If you've never heard of him, if you've never listened to any of his music, I very much so tell you to go look him up.
And in conservative circles, this guy, we've already mentioned him once, has really taken a pounding, and that was Toby Mac. but I'll tell you, if you get his albums, if you listen to his things, his lyrics really, really are tough. So there's some things that we recommend. And go and listen to some of these guys. See them on Facebook. Go and see some of the things that they have to say. Check them out. I can recommend them. I've got confidence in those guys, and we've actually met some of them too. So that makes a big deal. Well, you've been listening to the B. Andrews Show. We'll be back next Tuesday. Tell your friends about us, and let's get this listenership thing done up. Thanks a lot. Everybody have a great week. God bless. We'll see you back here next Tuesday.